Hi everybody, welcome once again to another edition of the Spartan Sports Report. Joining us tonight is the JV coach at CHS, Chris Bottomley. Chris, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Sam and Chris, kind of a lost weekend at Connersville, right?
Tough weekend.
Yes.
Very competitive on Friday night, not so much so on Saturday night with the varsity.
Two-possession game Friday night when Mount Vernon came to town. They had a guy that was pretty athletic. Number 42, I think, was on his back, and he was a one-man wrecking crew, it seemed like.
Sure did. And, but I thought our guys hung tough, and they had their opportunities.
It was a two-possession game.
Yeah.
They lost by 6 points. So,
and a team that we may be seeing in about a month. So we'll have another shot at them.
Right. Okay, Saturday night, the Spartans went to Mooresville and did not play well.
Played pretty well first half.
Yes.
We're down just 21-19 at half, but could only manage 7 points in the second half, which was tough. And we'll let Coach Bottomley address that a little bit. Also, we'll probably want to hear about his JV team. But Friday night, I was impressed with the number of people who were at Spartan Bowl, and Saturday night, I was impressed with the people that made the hour-and-a-half drive over to Mooresville, hour and 20 minutes, whatever it is, but it's a long haul,
Yes.
one of our longer trips. So.
Our Spartan fans are great.
Yes, they are.
They really are.
Travel well.
And you see games made on TV in the Indianapolis area, stands are pretty empty.
Yeah, and highly ranked teams.
Yes. It's hard to figure, isn't it?
It is.
Chris, what happened Saturday night, in your opinion?
I think that it struggled offensively on the offensive end. So when you're putting shots up on the road and not making them, and they did have a tough game Friday night, and to bounce back and be mentally and physically ready, I think, for Saturday, and they were not. And so that was a good weekend, as in sectional preparedness and having playing two great teams and getting ready for that. The reason we play games in a week, to get them prepared for the end of the season situation. So hopefully they'll grow and do some things better next time we play. So.
Okay, the scores of the ball games that the Spartans played this week were 44-38 in the Mount Vernon game, and Mooresville was 53-26. We have some clips from the game at Spartan Bowl with Mount Vernon. Let's watch those right now.
Chris, feel free to talk about these as we watch these clips. Of course, Garrett continues to play well for us.
Yeah, he's shooting the ball well. He's getting to the rim pretty well for a sophomore. Great hesitation by Grant there in following it up. But they played hard, and Mount Vernon's a very tall and athletic team.
Yes.
They intimidated some shots and made some tough situations for us. There's Bo shooting the ball. He's shooting the ball about as well as he shot it in his career. He looks comfortable. You can see a nice little flare there for him. He sits up behind the screen, looks good. So
Bo's good at getting those offensive rebounds, defensive and offensive, but it seems like he's under the basket a lot and able to get that put back.
Yeah, we have to rebound. Everybody we play is bigger than we are, and we have to do a good job fundamentally to block out and do all the right things for us to be successful. So we got to have him rebounding as well as our guards to rebound. So, but yeah, Bo had a good game, and you can see how comfortable he looks right now, which is a good thing for us.
This Mount Vernon team that we just played on Friday night, to me, not a lot different than Muncie Central and Newcastle. That we were able to come from behind in both of those games, and just kind of felt like this one we trailed most of the way, but always felt like we were going to come back.
Yeah, we've been successful a few times doing that, and I guess you can't come back from all of them, but most definitely, we're even as a coach, you're sitting there, maybe we can do it again.
Sure.
And, it didn't fall that way for us, but it's great. We had a great crowd. The fans were into it. It was a great crowd. I was impressed who came to watch. They knew Mount Vernon was good. They knew we had a chance to beat them. I think they were ranked 8th in the state at the time, if I remember somebody telling me. So they're a very good basketball team, and we had an opportunity to beat them. And I think practice and clean some things up and get ready for sectional time with them.
And I think folks have to remember that we still have won 13 games this year, or 13-5, and no need to get discouraged at this point. Still a lot of basketball left to play, and these kids are playing pretty well.
They are, and obviously you don't want to peak too early with sectional coming, so we need to work on stuff and get things better for us, and we still got some work ahead of us. And the kids are not as good as offense as where we want them to be, and obviously defense is a very good key too, so obviously we can get better at that. So
all the officials in the crowd, they were kind of unhappy with some of the calls. I know I'm not saying that what caused the Spartans to lose the game, but what are they officiating? You have to sort of adjust because all officials do not officiate the same way, do they?
No, and you know that's one of the things we strive to the kids, that we can't control the refereeing at all. The only thing we can control, you know, is our effort and attitude, how we come out there and how we handle things. Be fundamental, make sure we're blocking out, make sure we're squaring guys up so we keep them in front of us. You know, those are the things we can control. How they call the game is how they call the game, and you know, if we're doing the right things and taking the right charges and doing the right things like that, I think we'll get our calls. Obviously, you know, some games are different than others, but there's never any blame on a win or loss from refereeing.
Sure.
We control what we need to do on the court, so I never put that anywhere towards referees. I know the fans might, but we try not to as coaches.
The only thing that we as broadcasters, we as fans, because I consider myself a fan too, is that they be consistent on both ends.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree, but you know, like I said, every call they make is 50-50, so they got a chance to be wrong just as much as they have a chance to be right. So,
Well, it goes back, I guess you're saying you worry about how you're playing, not how the other team is playing.
right, and you know, to go with the officials, we have to adjust to their. If it's a physical game, we have to be a physical. If it's a touch and foul type game, we have to be a smarter team in that scenario. So whatever they're going to give us, we'll have to adjust to it. And sometimes they come back after halftime. They get together just like us coaches and teams do at halftime and talk about adjustments they want to make. Maybe they want to make adjustments as well as referees. So we'll make some change. They'll make some changes, and we have to adjust to it again. It's just part of the game.
And we see that.
Yes, sure.
Many times, you know, there may be a lot of fouls called in the first half, and the second half not, or the other way around.
Yes,
Right.
that's right. As assistant coach, varsity coach, your job is to get these guys ready for varsity, and these fellows on the team now, you've all had them as on the JV team. How do you work with them when they come up from the freshman team?
We start with day one. We do a lot of fundamentals. We do things that they have to get better at, encourage, and you know, there isn't a lot of 5-on-5. There's a lot of 1-on-1, 2-on-2s, 3-on-3 situations we put the kids in to get them better, put them in uncomfortable situations. So when the game comes, everything's easier. My job as a JV coach is to make sure that I tell my JV guys all the time, your main purpose is to take somebody's job on the varsity team. I think if I can encourage that and continue to have them play hard and do the things that we make practices better, we push the varsity where they need to be pushed, and then the gameplay even comes easier for them. So that's, you know, my strive, and obviously it makes me feel good as a JV coach if one of the kids gets moved up or gets to dress varsity and maybe even get in a game. And when they get in varsity games, even if we're up or if we're down, I still have that, you know, blood rushing through me. I hope they do the right things, and it's always fun to see my guys out there as much on the varsity floor as it is during the JV games.
How does the practice session go? When do you practice, and how long do you practice?
We go back and forth with the girls. One of us will go early and the other will go late in the bowl. It's either 4 to 6 or 6 to 8 this time of year. A couple hours. Early in the season, sometimes we'll look at 2.5 hours, get our fundamentals, a lot of shots in. So our JV practices with our varsity and does a lot of things for preparation for being a scout team for whoever we're playing and running the other team's defense and things like that. And we get time to work on our sets and what we need to do when varsity goes 5-on-5 with each other or whatever they're doing at their end. So we get some growing and getting some learning. So our guys get to go against the best players, you know, and every day at practice, and we try to be better than them, which it hasn't happened now because of being on the JV team. But they're doing a good job of pushing the varsity to an uncomfortable state every day at practice, getting them game ready.
As you prepare for the season, what, in late October, early November, you begin, the youngsters come out and they try out, and then you and the head coach select the players that you want? Is that how it works?
Yeah, in a nutshell, we start some, I think it is some workouts in May, actually, getting prepared, because the month of June we have a team month. So we'll play between 10 and 14 games in the month of June with our players. And our JV usually plays in a JV league, like in Northeastern. And we'll play 2 games every Wednesday night. The varsity usually plays on the weekends. They'll play between 2 and 3 games sometimes on a weekend. So really our preparation starts then, all the way back in May, in June. And we'll usually give them off the month of July, and then we'll get back into it. July and August, get back into it around September, getting them in some open gyms and doing some things. And we start our whole workout routine in October, getting ready for the season to start. You know, we only have like 2 weeks nowadays, IHSAA gives us to, before the first tip in November, you know. And so that's a quick time, and so we have to get some preparations done, obviously, beforehand to get us going for that. So,
How many fellows do you carry on your team?
This year we have 18 varsity and JV players. I think we have 3 dressing up from JV on the varsity, so it gives them 12 on the bench. So,
is there a limit? Does the IHSA set a limit as to how many players you can have?
I'm not positive, but I think it's 15 on the sectional roster.
Okay.
I might be wrong on that number, but I think it's around 15 you can bring. That's maximum, I think, and you take obviously a minimum. But I think 15 is the maximum, I think. You
played for the Spartans, and now you're coaching the Spartans, and you have off and on. What is that? Is there extra pride because you were a Spartan yourself? Yeah, it's hard to explain. You know, we played back in a time where there wasn't a lot going on, and the community was a little larger, and so our crowds were pretty good at the time back then, and so the pride and you know, we had special occasions, like before every game we ate as a team somewhere in town. A restaurant would take care of us and bring us in and support us, and they would feed us. We did that as a group and as a team. It was always a great atmosphere for that with our guys, and it was a family. And your coach was? At the time, I had Basil was here my freshman year, and Dunnington and Dwayne Wall my sophomore year, and then I had Larry Bollington my junior and senior year here. So you played under a couple state championship coaches. Yeah, a Hall of Fame, I guess, and situation. So yeah, I had a good little run there with them, and then obviously after I graduated, I went to college and actually came back and coached when Scott Hetty was here, and then I left and moved and came back again, and I was a JV coach for Howard Renard at the time, and I think that was 1997. And I was a JV coach here then. Then I moved to Illinois for a few years and then came back and started coaching the middle school for about 10 years. And now I've been here with Carrie. So this is my 18th year of coaching basketball here at Connersville. And I have a big pride. I love Connersville. I love the fans. I love the people that live here. I love the town. I have a pretty big heart for Connersville and all the good things that we have in this town. A lot of people like to put us down, but we do have a lot going for us, and Spartan pride is certainly one of those. Throughout when you played and watching you coach, you've always been pretty intense. Yeah, as I've gotten older, I've calmed down a little bit. A little bit. I'm not as up much and up and down the sidelines as I used to be, and I think I've calmed down a little bit. So yeah, you know, I mean, you got to let the players play and let the coaches coach, and that's how I feel about it. And let the referees ref, and I usually don't say much to the refs and to our players. You hope that what you do all week to prepare them for the game is where it needs to be at, and then you just make simple adjustments as the game goes on. So speaking of preparation, we touched on that a little while ago, but more than just practice. You coaches get together and review film after a game, and you get a tape from your next upcoming opponent. How long does that take, and how much time do you put in doing that?
The coaches, after every game, we go home, we watch the game. It doesn't matter if it's midweek or on the weekend. We'll usually put in 2 hours after a ball game to review the film and go over the film and stat it, see what we did right and wrong, so we can be prepared, obviously, for the next day for practice with them. If it's a Saturday, we do the same thing, so we can be prepared for Monday. And we go from there. And you know, sometimes I'll go out and watch the varsity film, but I have my own JV too to do, and I watch and stat that as well. Then opposing teams, we get those films. Usually our coaching staff, either Coach Brown or Coach Miller, Coach Smith or Coach Bray, will take a team for the week. They'll usually scout. We'll watch up to 3 films per team, and then we'll at least see a team live once, if not 3 or 4 times. We'll keep track of everybody and have a great scouting report for our kids going in and preparing for that. And obviously we roll that over to sectional. We'll sometimes see a team 10 times before sectional time, which is half of their season. To be prepared. We try to get some offensive ideas and some defensive ideas coming in and being very prepared for the situation that we put our kids into. So yeah, we work hard.
So you're well below minimum wage if you added all your hours in for what you get paid to do this.
Yes, way below. And it's funny, at one time in middle school, Eric Myers, the math teacher at the high school, did some math on me, and I think at the time he was making like 30 cents an hour or something at the time, and I did a lot less in middle school as I do in high school, so I hate to see what it is now. But yeah, it's a funny fact. Obviously, we don't do it for the money. We do it because we love the kids and being around them, and I've been playing sports my whole life, so I hate to lose that fellowship with the fellows. That's the favorite part, is being with them or being around them or being in the locker room, and I hate to lose that attachment because it is a good time.
I think Fran and I would feel the same way about the jobs that we do.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. We do it for the love of the game and for the kids.
Yes.
Yep.
Is there a conference, Eastern Athletic Conference, that you guys play in, the JV team?
Not for the JV.
Okay.
The freshmen have one and the varsity have one, but I'm not sure what a JV doesn't get that. But I guess we win and lose with the varsity. So it doesn't matter what the JV does. If the varsity wins, we win.
Yeah,
so,
I've heard that saying, right.
So that's how it goes.
Well, the Spartans were still, even though we lost a couple of ball games, we're still on top in the conference with 3 remaining. We got Franklin County here on the 19th, and we go to East Central and Lawrenceburg, I believe. So I think we're in pretty good shape, don't you, for the conference?
Yeah, we're in pretty good shape. I mean, the 3 teams we have left, obviously they have some good play, and they've struggled a little bit this year, some of them here and there, but they're capable of beating anybody in any night with us, and see what adjustments they make coming in for us, preparing us for sectional. And obviously we want to get that first trophy, being our conference win, and then work on the next one with the sectional at the end. So yeah, Franklin County will be ready for us. That's always a huge game for our kids and our fans. They bring a great cheer block. It's cancer night. I know with that we do some T-shirts or something we wear, and we have I think the guy girl dance might be that night too, maybe, and that's a big crowd that comes in. So that'll be a huge game. It's here at home. So it should be interesting. And I did go down and watch our girls play down there this year, and they had a heck of a cheer block for the girls' game. So I'm looking forward to a hostile environment with Franklin County coming in. It'll be fun.
Remind the fans, that's on the 19th of February. So.
Always a lot of fun. Been a
yes, it is.
Big rivalry going back to when they were the Brookville Greyhounds. And it's just continued on. The kids know each other. They live in such close proximity and probably play summer ball together and other sports. And
yeah, we play them all year. I mean, all through their careers, ever since now with travel basketball being young, and they're always in the same leagues playing against each other all the way through until we get to high school. So, yeah, they know each other very well and familiarize.
Spartans have just one game this week. It's on Saturday afternoon. Centerville comes to town. The Bulldogs are kind of struggling this year.
They are. They're struggling a little bit this year, and I think they got a new coach this year as well. So they have some things going on with the new system and new players, and but you know what? It's a big game for them. They're always excited to play the bigger schools, and I know they're always pumped when they played Richmond, and I'm sure they're pumped when they play us. Proximity's really close, and It's not that big of a drive, and so
Throw the record away.
he always throw the records out and be prepared.
You know, something Coach Thompson always talks about, and I think it's true with the boys too, that Connorsville has a bullseye on their back because of tradition and over the years, and especially teams come into Spartan Bowl, they love to come there and try to knock us off.
Yeah, that's true. And, you know, back in the day, we didn't take mercy on anybody. We just pound them in the ground. And now it's they're ready for us, and they have a good year, and they're always ready to come out and play hard and do what they need to do to try to knock us off. And you're right, the bullseye on their back, the great facilities, the great gym that we have. And,
Yes.
And sometimes there's some jealousy with that they would just want to take advantage of us, and so we always have to come with our A game. It's hard to explain that to the kids now. You know, obviously they wasn't born during that time, so but yeah, there is always a bullseye on our back.
A couple of years ago, I was on council, and we had an old fire truck. We gave it to Shelbyville for training purposes. I can't remember all the details. The lawyers worked out, but anyway, a guy from Shelbyville came to present the case to the council, and I said, "We'll give you this fire truck if you let us beat you in basketball." And he said, "I used to come to Connorsville and play in the pit." I said, "That's what you call Spartan Bowl?" He said, "Yes."
I wouldn't have given him the truck.
Leaving the boys for just a second, we've got the girls sectional underway here. It's hard to believe that we're nearing the end of the season
Tuesday
for the
night,
girls.
played the first game.
Tuesday night.
It's going to be tough. It's at Mount Vernon, and
Yes.
we play the host team. Mount Vernon is pretty good, but you know, Coach Thompson, Fran's been telling me since the first of the year that we're due to knock somebody off. The girls, I believe, have played good defense this year. They've gotten better at ball handling. Their turnovers are way down. They just got to figure out a way to get that ball in the hoop. And
Their offensive struggle, it really has. I mean, you feel for the girls, and the ball just won't drop for them. The shots just won't drop.
And Chris, as a parent of one of the Lady Spartans, what are your thoughts about Lady Spartan basketball? It's a little different having a kid on the team, isn't it?
It is. To be a parent instead of a coach is a tough situation sometimes to keep it not saying much at home.
Hard to separate it?
It's not really. I think I've done a pretty good job. She says I don't, but I think I do a pretty good job of it. But, obviously I like being in the gym. I'm in the gym all the time just for our boys, but for her and for the girls as well, and I support them, and I do. I think they play hard, and that's the main thing, is just playing hard and feeling pride for themselves. And, they've been successful in the past, and they're having a tough year. They'll be better next year. I mean, that's just how it works, and they just got to keep going out and working hard and doing
Very
the right
young
things.
team.
Very young team.
And Coach playing a lot of freshmen. So it can only make them better in the future, but sure would like to see them knock off Mount Vernon in the sectional and advance to the Friday night game.
Hasn't our freshman team won a tournament, girls freshmen?
Yeah, they won the EI.
I thought so.
They won it. They beat Rushville. I'm not sure who they played first. Maybe Greensburg. And then they played Rushville and beat them, and then they won against Franklin County in the championship.
Okay,
and I think that was Monday or Tuesday night of last week.
Good sign, I think.
Yeah, that's something to really build on,
Sure,
I think.
absolutely.
Positive for next year.
Well, congratulate some of our wrestlers. They did real well in the sectional. 8 of these young guys have advanced to Richmond to be in the wrestling regional this week, and they are Armin Angeles, Brady Parker, Jacob Red, Owen McClure, and Brady Gosnell.
So congratulations
I'm
to
anxious
those young folks. And
that's right.
Yeah,
I know
hopefully
Coach
they can do well.
Mac Taylor's very, very happy to have these guys advance. So we wish them the best of luck come Saturday at Richmond.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, we had Coach Taylor on, and for the season, he was very excited taking over as the head man of the Spartan Wrestlers. So I think he's done all right.
Chris, what else do you do at CHS as far as coaching?
In my past, I've coached baseball, football, and obviously basketball. And last year I helped with the soccer, the girls' soccer a little bit.
Okay.
With that, so I don't know. Sports are sports. I love it and the competitiveness of it. And so last year was my first, high school experience with ladies soccer, and of course, I still think girls work harder than boys do for some reason when it comes to athletics, because I think they have to be more fundamental and do things and can't make up for it sometimes athletically. So they play hard and do the right things, and it's fun coaching girls sometimes.
Okay, I'm happy to have you on the staff out of CHS. I know you do a heck of a job. The JV team may be struggling along with their record, but the youngsters are improving, I think.
They are. They're getting better every day, and we challenge them and put them in different situations that they are, and seeing them grow and where they're at now, where they're at the beginning of the season, they're better. So that's the main purpose of obviously coaching. So is being better at the end of the season. You were at the beginning of the season. You can kind of throw records out the window in that situation. And they're all great young men. I don't know if you guys had a chance to talk to them, but they're quality kids, and it's credit to the parents. They're doing the right things. Their kids are being raised right, and they're a good part of our community, and hopefully good things to come for them in the future.
Well, they're hard workers. Many of them are on the honor roll. I think that's what it's all about.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
It's hard, and it's hard with practice and with road games during the week and all that to get their studies done too. So, so you got to commend them, but makes them leaders, prepares them for the future and time management, because they have to really learn how to manage the minutes and the hours that they have.
We have 2 seniors on the varsity squad this year, so does that mean there'll just be 2 openings come next season?
At the beginning of the season, every job's open.
Okay.
So anybody can take anybody's job. Nothing's set in stone. It never is with us. So if they come out and take somebody's job ahead of them, they'll have that opportunity. All the kids. So it should be interesting to see how things roll out next year. But we need to finish this season out strong and see where we go from here first.
On the freshman team, what do you like about it?
It's tough for us coaches to get out and watch the freshmen play, because they play at the same time we practice, or like I think 3 times this season, the freshmen have played at the exact same time the JV has. Like we do the try games, and they're playing in the arena and we're playing in the bowl, and so I really haven't had a great opportunity to see them. Obviously, I got to see the kids in the summertime, and some of them played for me in the JV league. So I'm expecting big things out of them guys with how much they're working, how hard they're working, and there's good kids down there as well that are doing the right things.
Tim Howard does a good job with those guys.
Yeah, Coach Howard. We just made the comment the other day. 11 years ago, he started as my assistant in the junior high, and so hopefully he's doing the right things and got some good mentoring from me. I hope down the line.
Well, briefly talk about some of the area teams. Their record: Union County is 11-6, Franklin County is 9-6, Rush Hill is 5-11, Richmond is 7-11, and Centerville is 3-10. And again, the Bulldogs come to Spartan Bowl Saturday afternoon for a ball game. And people might wonder why we're playing Saturday afternoon. It's because of the girls' sectional on Saturday night, the finals. So that's the reason. Chris, it's been a great honor to have you here. Joining us on the program. You've told us a lot about your JV team. Wish you guys the best of luck in the remaining games, and thanks again.
Thanks for having me on, Fran. Thanks, Sam.
We always look forward to seeing you at the bowl.
And hearing Stomp on the floor.
That's right.
Thanks, Chris. That's this edition of the Spartan Sports Report, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on TV3.